episode 90, part 1 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters podcast. As usual, remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Demi Duffield.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So Shuja has released the Provisional Squad for the 2018-2019 season. And very many names, which includes, first-time call-ups, second-time call-ups, former Kenya Sevens players, and the players who were in the season before, who were, their performances are up for review. So just quickly, I'll go through the list, because obviously there are some people who are very excited to be on that list, and I am so sure. So we have Ronnie Omondi, we have Brian Wandera, we have Johnston Olindi, Daniel Taubu, Eliakim Kichoi, Philip Kwame, Benjamin Marshall, Vincent Onyala, Mark Wandeto, Arcadius Kwesa, these names, hey man, Timothy Masi, Paul Mutsami, Derek Kegoya, Mark Kwamoy, Harold Anduvati, Martin Wanjia, Brian Wahenya, Jeffrey Ominde, Shaban Ahmed, Monate, I know I got that wrong last time saying Monet, Monate Akwai, Oscar Dennis, Leonard Mugaisi, Alvin Otieno, Samuel Mutari, Michael Wanjala from Homeboys, because there are two.
There are two, yes.
Then Cyprian Kuto. Then we've got Andrew Monde, Brian Tanga, Collins Injera, Daniel Sikuta, Eden Aguero, Frank Wanyama, Eric Ombasa, Nelson Oyo, Billy Odhiambo, Jeff Oluoch, Herman Humwa, William Baka. We're missing, however, Oscar Uma, Oscar Ayodi, Samuel Nyether, and Augustine Lugonzo, and Dennis Ombachi.
Yes. First, it's good to note that this is a provisional squad. It's not the final squad that will be participating in the 2018-2019 season. But it's good to see the inclusion of some of the youngsters, the likes of Johnston Olindi, who I think had a very good sevens circuit. He's somebody I think we should be watching out for at number 10. I remember during the Enterprise Cup, he played at number 10 versus Harlequins. And you could see he has the deft touch of a fly half, and it's good to get these guys in such a setting. So it's good to see the inclusion of some youngsters, or some of the youngsters, first-time call-up, second-time call-up, the reintroduction of guys like Leonard Ngaisi, Michael Wanjala from Homeboys. And then the stalwarts, the Andrew Amondes, the Collins Injeras, William Barkers, Dan Sikutas, the guys who've been there, Eden Agueros, the guys who've been there year in, year out. So it's a good mix of experience and new blood. And the reason why I think this is key is because the core of that sevens team, the Andrew Amondes, the Collins Injers, they're on their way out.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
They're on their way out. So it's good to get guys who are going to fill in those big shoes when the time comes, and when Collins Injera decides to call it quits, or Andrew Amonde decides to call it quits. So it's good to see these new guys coming into the system, and hopefully they pick up what needs to be picked up, fast, so that they can be able to fill in these shoes. Now, the big issue is you have the team, but you don't have a technical bench.
So what's going to happen? Because obviously we've got Innocent Samu's contract, which is ending soon. And we don't have anyone as yet to fill his, the position.
So these players are not going to coach themselves, and maybe that's where the union now needs to come in and work. Be quite. What's the word I'm looking for? Basically, just do their job and do it fast, and just get the technical bench in place, because the only way our sevens team will be able to have a relatively successful 2018-2019 season would be if they get enough preparation and if they start early. And whoever is going to be coaching them then needs to get, his systems in play before the season. And, it's now September? Season is beginning end of November. So they need a technical bench in place. But my opinion is that the guys who've been chosen, it's a good blend of youth and experience, and they should be able to do the job come the 2018-2019 season. I don't know what you think about it.
No, I totally agree with you, although I would say there's actually a little more urgency in the sense that, yes, the HSBC 7 series starts at the end of November on the 30th, but we do have Safari 7s before that on the 10th, and even before that, we've got Africa 7s.
True.
So we've got to have a team by that time, and these are very many names to go through. So, coach has got his work cut out for him.
Any shockers in the guys who've been chosen?
Ooh, no, actually, to be honest, no. I feel like some of the players are, and no offense to anyone,
yes,
are sort of like, you know how you always have your fillers,
yes,
so that it looks like it was fair, and but most of these people, I would say, have impressed on the circuit. There's no doubt about that. It's just, will they be able to, hash it out with the big guns?
Yes.
Some of the players you see here, and I know size is not everything, but size matters. It really does. And you wouldn't want a player who you'll go with him and he'll just be bullied. I mean, if the likes of Brian Tanga get bullied and you're smaller than Brian Tanga, it's going to be tricky for you. But I mean, it's good for them to get called up. At least you know that you've been shown, you're being shown that whatever you did throughout the Sevens circuit was like, we saw it. We know you've got potential, and we've called you up to the squad. Let's see what you can give us. So best of luck to everyone who's on that list.
There's just been a couple of conversations I've been seeing on social media. Of course, there's some guys who feel that there are players who should have been included in the provisional squad, and there's some guys who feel there's some players who should not have been put in the provisional squad. I think the most unfortunate thing that happens in Kenya is this club mentality. Like, we don't look to the bigger picture, right? It doesn't really matter which club you play for, as long as you earn the call-up and you're a good enough player, then that's good enough. If you look at the professional countries, you don't sit down, Canterbury doesn't sit down and say, okay, we need 10 guys from Canterbury playing for the All Blacks. Waikato doesn't sit down and say, we need 10 guys playing for the All Blacks. At the end of the day, whoever has been selected by the selectors to represent the country is good enough. And that's the most unfortunate thing I see in Kenya, is that guys, the bias is too big, and you start making comments about guys who haven't been selected into the provisional squads based on bias, not anything else, not because of performance. You can have a stellar performance, but you can be a bad influence in terms of the team setting.
That is very true.
So my plea would just be like, as we go on in future, like, we need to stop this nonsense of, XYZ should have been selected, XYZ should have been selected. Look, the selectors did the job. And also, on the other hand, the selectors also, by the way, it's a two-pronged problem. Thinking about it, it's a two-pronged problem. Yes, the fans do sit down and say, no, we want an Impala guy, I want a Queen's guy, I want a Homeboys guy. But at the same time, the selectors also do a lot of that.
Yes, they do.
They choose guys from their clubs, because these selectors are affiliated to one or two clubs, So they choose guys from their clubs. But you pray that in future, guys can start accepting the guys who've been selected to represent the country and not think about it from a biased standpoint. I don't know what you think about it.
No, I totally agree with you, because that's what kills sports in the end. From a fan's perspective, it really should not matter which club somebody comes for. We need the best for the country. And you need to stop thinking, but this person need to wangu, for lack of a better way to put it. And for the selectors, yes, I understand that you pledge your allegiance to a certain club, but at the end of the day, we want the country to do well. So that definitely needs to stop. You can't keep picking people from your club, and that there are other people in other clubs. That just does not make sense. Only good thing about this is, if you are fortunate enough to have been picked, then it is now, well, we are hoping it is up to you to prove that you should be on that list and you should be on that team. So
it's gonna be interesting. Of course, as you're saying, their first outing is the Safari Sevens.
Before that,
the Africa Sevens, then the Safari Sevens. It's gonna be a chance to see the team that's going to be chosen for the 2018-2019 season. Test it out on the African stage and here for the Safari Sevens. So, all in all, from me, what I would like to say is that to the guys who've been chosen, congratulations. Now you thrash it out with the big guns, and hopefully you get selected for that final squad that's going to be the 2018-2019 season.
So it's good to know that all the work they put in during the 7th season, before the 7th season, during their preseason, has shown. And best of luck to everyone who was on that list. But guys, let us know what you think of that list. Who you think should be, maybe should have been included, and your reason why. Because it can't be because you're from the same club. And maybe people who you see on their way out. So let us know. Find us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Dimi Medafield.
And I'm Ngara Kamuya.
See you in part 2.